Yeah, I know. He is cute. Hello, unbalances. My name is Daidarius, and welcome to the review of Dumbo. So Dumbo is the live-action remake of this 1941 animated classic about this elephant called Dumbo. He has big ears and he can fly. Don't you know Dumbo? Given that this is a live-action adaptation, they do tweak some aspect of the story a bit. But in general, it's pretty much the same, given the fact that there is this baby elephant who is born who has big ears. Only this time, he's accompanied by two small children, a boy and a girl. And their father comes home and he's been fighting in the World War II? Second World War? Or the First World War. I can't remember which war. I think it's the Second World War, if I have to guess. But he comes home and he is attached to this circus, and now he needs to get back into action. He needs to be able to put on an act, but unfortunately he has lost an arm, so now he needs to take care of Dumbo. Everyone hates Dumbo, of course, because he has big ears, so that is enough reason to hate someone, I guess. If they have big ears, they are scum. They are the scum of the earth. Nevertheless, the children makes Dumbo able to fly and show it off to the audience in this circus. And then a businessman called Daidarius gets hold of this and then invites the entire circus onto his kind of dreamland theme park thingy, where he wants to make big money on Dumbo flying. And that's pretty much the movie. So what do I like about this movie? Well, I like Dumbo is fine. It's cute, actually, sometimes. I mean, they do put Dumbo convincingly-ish into the movie, and he does integrate well with the other characters, the human characters in the movie, and he does feel like he belongs in the scene in some way. Yeah, but whenever Dumbo, he looks at you with his big blue eyes, he kind of grows on you. Kinda. I mean, yeah, he is cute, but... And also, the story is quite simple and enjoyable. I mean, it's not that complex. It doesn't try to do too much. It just tries to tell a new story of Dumbo like the live-action adaptation for a few years back of Jungle Book did. So it tweaks some aspects of the story and presents something new. And the new thing is entertaining, I must say. Puts a new aspect on this whole greed thing. And also what it means to dream. And also the music is fine. I mean, I don't remember anything about it, but it did fit the movie and the scenes well. Now, as you probably can tell, I'm kind of struggling to find some positive things to say about this movie. But what I will say is that this movie is generic. It doesn't really drop everything on the floor. It keeps it quite safe. So it's a quite safe movie. There isn't really something bad in this movie. It's just some weird decisions made for the movie, but I will get to that in 2 seconds. However, this movie is fine. If you go and watch it, you will have a fine time watching it. However, there's a lot of things holding this movie back, and I mean a whole shit ton. It doesn't mean that this movie sucks ass, but it does mean that this movie has a lot of problems. Now, first of all, you can't wait to see how they're going to implement the cartoon storyline into the movie. Well, you don't really have to, because that takes place in 20, maybe 30 minutes of the movie's runtime. The whole animated movie is compressed into 20 to 30 minutes, which means that every scene that you loved as a child, that just gets rushed, extremely rushed. They don't really have time to linger anything. For example, when Dumbo's mom is comforting Dumbo from her cage, it's a really heartfelt scene in the animated movie. Whereas here, they just kind of embrace each other very quickly, and then we need to move on with the plot because we need to get to the new stuff. This new Dreamland theme park thing. We need to get that storyline ongoing. So we can't really linger too much on these old aspects, which makes me wonder, why did you even implement the original storyline into this if you wanted to make something completely different? So that means that Dumbo was able to fly in the beginning of the movie. So that's not really the selling point here then. Another thing I didn't really like about this movie is the visual effects. Now, for the most part, they're okay. I mean, you can clearly see that these are some CGI. No mistake about it. However, a lot of it was just poorly handled. The elephants, for example, I thought they were gonna put their all onto the elephant because the elephants is the selling point, especially Dumbo. But it is just clearly shown that it's CGI. They haven't really done anything extraordinary with the texture or the light refraction on Dumbo. He doesn't seem real. He just seems that he fits into the scene because he has weight to it. But he's clearly CGI and he's not convincing CGI. And just in general, all the backgrounds are in that aspect. They are not convincing CGI. They just look fine. But this is Disney we are talking about. Have you seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies? They know how to make convincing CGI. I mean, just look at David Jones. He's CGI completely. You can't see it, not even 15 years later. This is amazing CGI. I wish that just Dumbo himself was that convincing, but unfortunately he isn't. Then there's the acting. The acting is, for the most part, below average or below acceptable. It feels like the most of the actors is just bored with this movie. Michael Keaton not convincing or interesting at all. Colin Farrell just seems like he is bored to shit on the set on this movie. The two child actors is not good, and I'm not gonna attack the child actors for that. I'm just thinking that Tim Burton didn't really direct these characters as well, and it shows because no one in this movie takes this movie seriously. No one wants to do this movie. They're just getting a paycheck because there's no heart, there's no warmth, there's no humanism beneath, there's no soul in their performances. They're just conveying lines to you, and that's pretty much it. Which brings me to my next point, and that is Dumbo. Dumbo is just a cute thing on screen. That is it. He has no personality, he has no hopes and dreams. You know nothing about him. He just reacts to things happening to him. He doesn't really think for himself. He's not really there. And even times when the movie is amping up this somber music and you need to feel heartfelt because of Dumbo, you don't really do it because you don't really know Dumbo. He's just there. He has no personality at all. And I just wish that the movie would have focused a lot more on Dumbo instead of just focusing on these human characters. And I know the human characters, we can understand them, but this is Dumbo. The movie is called Dumbo. Focus on Dumbo. But no. And just all in all, the pacing is, as I said before, in the beginning of the movie, it's busy. It needs to go somewhere really, really fast. It just skips over the entire introduction of Dumbo so quickly. Not even giving a chance to attach yourself to Dumbo. He just, there he is. Go on with the movie. And then you get to the later part of the movie where we need the big finale to happen. Then the movie picks up again. And just, the pacing is junky. It is rushed. It's too rushed in the beginning and it's too rushed in the end. And then in the middle, there's just some weird choices where you're just extending the period until we could get to the climatic final, and that is it. So all in all, this movie is okay. However, I will say that this movie has no really joy behind it. I mean, you're only gonna see this movie because of Dumbo. And then you have to have seen Dumbo. You're just gonna go, that's it. You can't say anything good about the movie except for Dumbo. And Dumbo is not really that interesting because he has no personality. I know I'm going in circles here, but it's driving me nuts. That being said, I didn't bore myself to death while I was watching this movie. And the movie is fine. I mean, you can put your children in front of it and just flick it on and they will be entertained throughout the duration of the movie. But does the movie has anything else to offer than just mindless entertainment for children? No, not at all. It brings nothing interesting to the table. It is just there. And I really wish that I could be more joyful for this review because this is Dumbo. I mean, the cutest elephant ever to exist. I mean, I'm not even motivated to review this movie. That's how much it sucked my childhood joy out of me. I know, I still have the original cartoon. I know, but still, why remake the movie if you don't really want to make the movie? And also there's some bad guys in here and just the way they act. The only reason they act that way is just so the plot can move forward. Not because it makes sense, but just we need to make this shit happen. We need to get going. Everything is a cartoon. The whole movie is cartoonish, but it's just live action. Anyway, Dumbo. What I will say about this movie is that you will get some few good laughs in this movie. The movie does has a few good humors here and there, and I mean, Danny DeVito is probably the only one who's trying to give just a little bit of shit in this movie, where everyone else is just bored to death being there. The movie doesn't have the best acting, the movie doesn't have the best pacing. I mean, the pacing is pretty clunky, the CGI is meh. There's no personality for most of the characters, and at the end when the movie is ending, there was not even once where you were kind of feeling sad throughout the movie. I mean, this is Dumbo. You were supposed to have your heart broken, but Unfortunately, don't. So, with that in mind, I will say that Dumbo, you should catch it on Netflix. My experience. So there you have it. And I know I seemed harsh in this movie, so you might wonder why I didn't give it a lower ranking, but I don't think it is a waste of time. I just won't recommend you to seek it out. Just if you find it and you want to spend almost 2 hours doing stuff, then this is a fine excuse to see it. And it also has some entertaining elements to it. But for the most part, it's just meh. So, Dumbo, the remake. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? What do you think? Comment below and read your thoughts. And as always, until I see you in the next video, remember to stay awesome. Bye! They even fucked up the drunk elephants. I mean, why even put... Oh.